the drafting phase. Hopefully, we don't get to see these jank and really see what these two teams are capable of. But first, the random map, and we get
Broken
walls.
Broken wall. All right, so right now, Invictus Gaming, they are home team and they're choosing the first pick here. Quite interesting. Banning out the box, yeah, sure, but banning out the Uranus. Now that's pretty interesting. But I have heard around that there are teams. There's this two heroes that might come up eventually, which is Uranus and Kagra for some reason. So interested to see why Uranus banned out quite early here.
I can understand the Kagura, the Uranus, kind of a give and take, because when we're looking on both sides and comparing just the EXP laters, both of them are more, I'm going to try and solo kill you rather than try to sandbag, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One.
I'm looking at the bans right now. I mean, there's no bans towards Valentina, no bans towards Sora. So for IG, which are,
It should be Valentina.
for me, yeah, it should be Valentina as well at the same time, right? But who knows? Again, first game, first match, you just want to throw a curveball towards BTRM just to see how they respond. They could go up to go for a Sora first pick and just let it phases out, because you still have the Eve, you still have the Farsa at the same time for your mid.
I think in most cases, the opening with Valentina, usually very, very safe, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that you cannot show unless you see the mid duo is your support. So that's the only thing we need to see from this first phase, whether or not we're going to see the Valentina, and if so, their lead pick has to give some sort of identity to the composition. They go straight for Melcutis. Yi, Shun, Shin, very flexible, not a bad opener.
I mean, we're assuming the goalie, because he can go to the jungle, but doesn't look all that strong right now. So now BTRM, they're replying with the Guinevere, which SRG has shown has been pretty strong for this season.
I feel like it's a very, very mechanical hero. I mean, Yums just showcased on how well this Guinevere can bring into the table, but I would like to see how Rasi is going to play it out. Depends on what other heroes that you're going to be matching up with this Guinevere. Because Yishashi has been picked up, we're not still unsure. For now, we've seen a lot of full lane Yishashi, but in terms of the winning rate, it's not looking good here in MPL MY. But maybe IG can make a difference about it. BTRM is gonna go for the obvious pick. So EXP has been locked as well as the boom side.
Pretty safe overall, right?
I just feel like make sure that your heroes are able to avoid Gwyn and you already have a pretty good draft, because I feel like there's a few heroes share the same problem as me. I don't mind getting stomped by Gwyn, right? So just don't use those heroes and you're fine.
Well, I think it's a matter of range, right? Because most of the time, it's who clears the bush and how far away is your the distance between you and your support, right? If you don't want to walk up into a bush, you send your support out first. But if you follow not even closely behind him, Guinevere is able to actually catch you within that range. And I think that's like the major issue. There's not enough people to kind of show the vision, give that place on that map. But now that they have Yishin Shin, it's about timing.
With that kind of said, I kind of want to see something like Grok.
Is
that a Grok?
I thought for a second it was high loss.
Yeah. I guess it's okay, but maybe they just pick it up here just in case if they want to put Hylos in the EXP today with the Phobius. I mean, he was a matchup before.
It's good because at the end of the day, you're trying to, you missed the engage with Gwyn, glorious pathway, where are you going to run?
Well, IG has a good dominance map control right now with the Eve as well as the Hylos. You can really manipulate well in terms of small skirmishes or small area of space with the Mountain Shocker at the same time. For BTRM, it's a very fast-paced kind of game so far when I'm trying to look at the Gwyn as well as the Phobius. Gwyn can catch you out of guard, but you don't want to catch a Hylos. You would prefer to catch out the Eve, but Eve is going to stand way far back in the back line. So what other heroes that do they have to open up the map for BTRM right now?
I feel like they got to take Valen or Zetian here. If not, you're going to get banned. Looks like they're going for the Claw to make sure that they can answer the Eve. Honestly, I'm still okay with it because the Claw can do a lot of damage onto the Hylos as well as the Eve.
Yeah.
And in terms of laning phase, I kind of feel like it's more of a skill matchup.
I agree, but then the only downside is that Bigetron Malaysia by Vitality unfortunately just reveals everything that they have, right? You've shown all your solo laners. Now it's just about the mid duo that you want to double up to kind of tie this composition together. And on the second half, usually that fourth pick is like, there's nothing you can really do. It's really hard to find that initial counter pick. But the main issue is that IG, they can clearly target it down. Like, there's no questioning it.
For BTRM, in terms of the mid side, you still have Farsa, I suppose, Zetian as well. I think it's not a bad picked up. Valentina at the same time. But all of these heroes, for me, they can be cut out. It depends on what IG picks. It depends on where this Hylos goes. If this Hylos in the EXP lane, then you might want to pick up for a single target pick-off kind of roamer. something like a Cho, something like a... I like Khalid, but maybe Khalid is not as popular as of now. Hilda is not that bad for me. You know, you can
Actually,
check
I really
pushes.
like Khalid. Like, personally, like right now, Thunderbelt feels so strong. Like, Khalid can like one-shot a mage if they're not careful.
Well, I think then comes the argument of like, if you are looking for the single target lock, I mean, Kalia we knew it was going to get banned. It's just top tier picks when it comes down to like Cho, Kalia, usually the ones who find those single target lockdowns. But I think the also inevitable problem that they're going to have is there's not going to be enough people to actually peel back, right? Because if Guinevere gets a little too deep in, and keep in mind, this could be a flex pick for all intents and purposes,
Like,
right?
they got to pick mid red 4.
That's the thing. And I think that no matter what, as much as I want to say that Valentina might be a good way, I don't think the RWM is actually that good in this particular
Honestly, you can
situation.
take the highway, right? So you can negate the slows that the RWM has. Like, you have options. You have options.
Yeah, because I was thinking more towards Zetian just a little bit, mainly for the laning phase of it all, because at the end of the day, the real proponents that excel you forward is going to be the Guinevere.
No, honestly, Zetian is great. Stun them up first. Easy for Gwyn.
True. Easy for follow-ups from the Cloud at the same time. He can pick and choose the target that he wants at the same time. Apart from that, right now,
Interesting, they're banning the carry, so they're thinking there's a chance Yusin goes jungle.
is
they're
it
doubling
not?
down.
Is it not a big question mark? Sora has been left out, not even banned, not even get picked up. I feel like, in terms of flexibility, in terms of EXP laner, at the same time, one of the best hero, if not the best hero right now that they can pick up, but just gonna get ignored for, you know, a good amount of picks.
Very nice bans here. I like that once we get into the second half, both sides, there's a very clear line that they each could have gone for, but they're making sure that they're covering the sidelines, making sure that any types of pivots are going to get blocked off very early on. The Alice, really good ban overall, but I especially like the carry ban. It just shows that from Barbosa, or at least from Jespen's POV, hey, they might lean more into the tanks. We might actually have to put the Guinevere in the jungle.
So right now for BTR, if they really want to maximize, they can pick their mid, but if they really don't care showing it early, then yeah, I feel like getting a jungle or Rovier is fine. Looks like they're picking up the Joy, so this Gwyn is going to be in the roam.
Interesting.
Joy up against the high loss, you still have the Eve at the same time. I know it's quite difficult for the Eve to hit the Joy, but at the same time, just one...
Annabelle's amazing.
I mean, but one stun coming off from the high loss, the Joy is gonna get killed immediately, I feel like. So
Don't get stunned.
Yeah, don't get stunned.
fair point!
Dodge!
It's
Fair point.
Literally, they just need Annabelle to avoid the high loss. There's kind of no going around that.
That's not gonna be easy, I feel like. It depends. If the high loss goes EXP and then you pick up another roamer with an easy enough stun, this Joy is not gonna go anywhere.
You get like Cho, and then you throw high loss into EXP.
I'm honestly even thinking of something like a Gatot.
I would argue even a Madara, right? Does
Yep.
the job.
Oh, that's the Sora, so this high loss is going to go roam.
All right.
It's gonna make it more difficult for Joy later on.
Who's the jungler? What's the jungle?
Pick up the higher. So this Yusin is going to the jungle. Looks like BTRM kind of knows what IG is really going for. I just have to say, IG, just be careful of your laning phase, because Phoveus does have an advantage against Sora. Sora has a lot of dashes, and then this Eve might get targeted hard because you got the Claude, you got the Joy, you got the Gwyn. So I really feel like for BTRM, they're attacking individual lanes quite well here.
I think go for the Valen. I don't think Zitian or Farsa are good enough here. Because Sora can catch you out, essentially can gun you down
Oh, that's true.
with the Mountain Shocker at the same time. So
And Valen can take the Sora ult.
yeah, Valen can take the Sora out. You still have the double dash, a flicker at the same time.
Well, personally, I think there's not many good angles here. I would argue a Kagura honestly isn't that bad, but it really depends whether you want priority or whether you want to tax your opponents. And it looks like this time around, they're going to go for it instead.
This is one of those times I'm okay with it.
For real?
It's
No,
not
'cause-
bad.
Because as long as everyone does their job, when I say everyone, it's Smooth and Rossi, it's kind of hard to get onto the gourd.
Yes.
Dude, you're going up against Yusin Shin that's most probably going to kite, and then you're going up against a high loss and the Eve that might get caught by either the Gwyn or the Joy and the Claude.
There's two big situations. Either Yishin has to traceless through the stun to
Yeah.
kill the Gord,
Yep.
and Gord could still flicker back and ult. So there's still a lot of ways things could go wrong very quickly for Invictus if they do not execute well.
Sora can just jump onto the back line and Hearth can open up the Zaman Force and just dances away against that court. I'm not too sure about
They're
this.
just like, we'll just put
It's just cautious.
I didn't get a look at the battle spells. I'm pretty sure Purifies have to be brought for some of these players, but we'll see as we jump right into this game. A best of 3 between these two teams. Invictus Gaming IG facing off against Bigetron Malaysia by Vitality.
I took a glimpse at the spell. I'm seeing a lot of flickers, but hold that thought. Maybe there should be some purifies here and there.
Okay, at least MelQT took a Purify.
Okay, fair
Oh,
enough.
he's reasonable.
Fair enough. I mean, he does want to go in and out safely. That's the main idea right now. But for me, okay, is there a world where we know that Buckets has been out for so long in the competitive scene? And out of all the heroes, it's like, bro, what are you most comfortable with to play right now for your first debut, not debut, for your first day here at MPL Season 17? Guard, sir.
Sorry, give me Gord.
Sir, give me
You
guard.
sure we can give you far? No, Gord,
No.
trust me.
I don't want mobility. Just nada.
So
If I get gunned down, I'm just gonna take it like a man.
yeah, so looking at the lineup here, as a high loss player, I am just a little bit worried about the Gord because the buffs onto the Gord is, I feel like it's enough to really make him relevant, where his stun is on a shorter cooldown, so you can spam it all the time. And his passive is a little bit better now, so the higher HP that you have, the more damage that you're gonna take. So I feel like, as I said, as long as BTRM, the frontliners or the engagers are doing a good enough job to deny any kind of dive over to the Gord, and the Gord's job is to control the battlefield from a reasonable distance, he should be able to deal quite a lot of damage to the front line and then let the Claude do the rest.
All right, all right. Okay, so I'm trying to picture this in my mind, all right? While we're troubleshooting the issues, I'm guessing that their best, most likely, 2-item Gord. No, I'll be generous. 3-item Gord.
Okay.
I would
Gord
say one
fight.
item.
1 item is
For
enough?
real?
He gets Glowing Wand and it's over?
No, because honestly, like with 8 to 6 seconds on the first ability, it's kind of like, imagine the Sicilian, right? Sicilian is traditionally a late game hero you want to stack, right?
Okay.
But what if you have a good engage? At that point, items don't matter that much when your job, when you have a Joy on your side that does quite a lot of damage, even with 1 item, it can make it so that you can kill these guys, especially if you're able to catch a crucial target, like say an E.
Sorry, I just have to diverge away from what we were talking. We know that he's very nervous right now.
65.
Wait.
We know that he's super nervous right now being back here in NPLMY.
He's freaking out.
Yeah, so the coach would be like,
4.
so the coach is like, are you okay with Gord? Spikes 150.
Oh my god, yeah, I just imagine like, now, players can't lie.
Yeah,
Are you
they
nervous?
can't.
Nah.
Nah.
Bang, 170.
Bro, this is genuinely so funny. Yesterday, we saw that a majority of mid laners and supports were pretty chill.
Okay.
It's the direct opposite. Direct opposite with Fakes and Rossi. Both of them already in the hundreds. Even Chico guys is at 113 for some
I mean,
reason.
Annabelle is chilling right there with the joy.
At least it's going down, you know? Like, it's going down. I'm looking at the other side of Invictus Gaming. It looks like they're all pretty chill. The highest is MelQT at 117, which
Yeah, that
is
makes
still
sense.
fine.
It makes a lot of sense, to be fair. And Gorgeous as well, they have comparable BPMs. Like, yeah.
Going back to what Lafel said, I do agree. I mean, if you get a good engagement off, if let's say Rasi gets a good Violet of Requiem, right? I think the guard is just gonna follow up easily with the stuns, with the Mystic Gush at the same time with the Cloud. So if all goes well, I'm all in for this god. But if the initiation is bad, Smooth cannot control the front line, it's gonna get devastated for BTR.
It's nice that Panda is wearing Chiku's shirt, Chiku Kai's.
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yeah, his brand, his brand.
CTK, Chiku Kai's.
Chiku Kais. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it. if you don't know
If
it.
you don't know, you're not cool, bro.
Yeah, it's the new in thing. Ooh,
This
this
is
one,
still like 149, so.
man, these BPMs really give away a lot of information.
Right.
Mine is 92.
I guess they're a little pumped to play the game. You know, you can't help but be a little excited for them. Dude, is Goja's like getting more insecure about it? He's like, man, this is not going down.
Maybe I need to run a bit more.
Just jog a bit. All right. I'm taking a look at the heroes at the same time. I'm looking at the late game potential right now. Having the
Spencer's high as well.
having the Harith as well as Hazel as the Yi Shen. I mean, if IG can hold it on towards the late game stage by, I would say 30-minute mark, 40-minute mark. It should be good for IG, I feel like.
Really? We're going to wait 30 to 40 minutes before they win this game.
I'm just guessing here.
Look, I think that their mid game is probably where they're going to be the strongest. The question is, how far ahead is Ishin going to get in comparison to Annabelle on this joy? Because there are going to be moments here where they know, yeah, we're kind of strong in the early. We can actually take these fights slower.
Oh.
Oh!
Yeah. I gotta say, I forgot I was enjoying that so much. But yeah, this is what I was talking about.
Okay.
A good stun, and then even with no items, the Gore can do a lot.
He can do a decent amount. He can do a decent amount. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, I noticed that we don't have our emblems. I have no idea what they're running.
Oh, and they showed it earlier. The Gore actually took the cooldown one, so he already has quite a bit of cooldown at level 1.
Interesting.
So it does mean that whatever engages that BIGETRON has, he can follow up.
Lethal Ignition, I would assume.
I mean, I like the initiation from Rasi as well as Fix right there. That is what I'm talking about. I mean, if Rasi gets a quick initiate, but hold on, Nova.
Yeah, Nova took way too much damage, and then Go just goes in, only onto Annabelle. Annabelle should still be able to get the turtle, but now, all alone, looks like Go just gets taken down double for Smooth.
Very nicely done for Annabelle. He was holding on to the electrifying beats, and he made sure that he hit those beats on time to get the extra movement speed and make sure they had the spell bam. So really, was able to walk out of Go just as engaged, expecting it to come even.
I think that's a bit of miscom from IG right there. Go just went in alone, to be fair. I mean, Hazel got nowhere or no rooms to enter to be able to follow up with his own mountain structure at the same time. So, BIGETRON, Alicia by Vitality, a very good advantage that they have early on right now. 3 kills, almost 1k goal lead at the same time. And if this continues on, then I'm pretty sure Fix would have a good time, you know, less pressure a bit.
Yep.
As we can see, the heart rate is going a bit down, less than 100 right now.
I think at this point, it's going to be pretty tough, right? I feel like it's an upward trajectory for BIGETRON until the 3rd turtle, and Invictus Gaming, they know this, right? And now Chico Guys is taking full advantage of the scenario. No.
I'll try to fight back. Using Zaman Force, just treating with Chiku Guys, and I mean, like, Harv is strong because of the items. So until the items comes up, it's not going to do too much damage.
More like he's so brave. They know for a fact that Joy started on the purple buff side of the map. So he knows that Joy is relatively on this side of the map as well, and yet he is still taking the risk.
Hey, I mean, high risk, high reward right there. But to be fair, Annabelle did not went in to be able to help out Chico Guys at the top side. So Malcude can live to see for another day right now. We're going to wait for the next turtle, less than 20 more seconds as of now. Hopefully, Invictus Gaming can sort things out, and I feel like it's a bit of miscommunication, not too sure where you want to go, not too sure where you want to focus down right now. So maybe just for now, let the gold leaders farm a bit, get a few more items, and then you go in.
I think this game is starting to look like it's kinda over. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the level leads that I'm seeing in the mid lane amongst the supports themselves.
Oh, Rasi goes in, Mystic Gush deals onto the tank. Nova Escobar took too much damage. Rasi tries to go away. Annabelle just protecting Rasi, but Rasi gets taken down by Hazel. Nova Escobar gets taken down by Fakes, and now Hazel is all alone. It looks like he's not going to get caught. Fakes does not have the Mystic Projectile in time to stun him up.
Wasted. Unfortunately for Invictus Gaming, that glorious pathway from Nova Escobar kind of threw it into the air. Initially, it was like, hey, we're looking towards Fakes, but all of a sudden, the rest of Invictus Gaming started looking towards where Chiku Guys and Rasi would eventually have to disengage. And Invictus Gaming just could not follow it up. They could have gotten at least 2 more there.
I mean, itemization is still a big problem right now for BTRM. Pretty sure if they had a few more items, the Mystic Gush, the Blazing Duet from Chico Guys could deal a good amount of damage, and they could have gotten a few kills right there. But to be fair, Invictus Gaming did pretty well in terms of how they disengaged from that fight, even though Hazel, yes, was really in front, up close with the Chico Guys right there. But BTRM did not have what it takes to kill Hazel off, even with the misposition right there.
At least the turtle now. Up and available.
Annabelle is starting it up, and now Nova Escobar, he is exposing himself. But look at Go, just try to get onto Smooth. Smooth takes a lot of damage, flickers out, and Rasi misses the jump. And now Smooth is all along, gets taken down by Gorgeous. This is a good trade for Invictus Gaming. How will they handle this turtle?
Very nicely played by Hazel, especially not giving the extra reset so he doesn't waste any time. And finally, second turtle actually falls into their hands. This is actually the best case scenario for IG. I was expecting them to actually give this up and look to play on the opposite side of the map to try and get Melcuti on even grounds with Chiku guys.
I think for IG right now, they have to look towards Smooth once again. If you can take out Smooth from the equation, you already have won that team fight and you already won that particular neutral objective. Hence what they did right there. But Rasi, good jump.
Yep, able to get to it now. Mystic Gush. Spencer has to get away, but a good save by Gorgeous.
Wow.
He will go down, but hold on. Hayes actually gets Annabelle. That's the main damage dealer by BIGETRON. By MY, by Vitality. Oh my god, that's so long.
It is so long. It is so long. The BMBV. Overall, I think just nicely played by Invictus Gaming. Now they're coming into their mid-game power spike. This is where we're expecting them to start taking control of the game. I gotta give it to Rossi though. He's been finding multiple man engages for the early to mid-game very consistently. And as much as I like finding these kills, unfortunately, they are an alt-based composition.
Yeah,
Right?
but something to say as well, like we were talking about dodging the Hylos, it looks like you gotta dodge the Sora as well, because I kind of feel like that's the only reason Annabelle really died.
Yes, and well, that because Gorgeous also had to flicker in for it, right? I would agree with Annabelle's decision of going for the kill there. It's just like, hey, if you want to flicker on me, sure, fine. You won't have it next time, though.
I mean, to be fair, good decision making from Gorgeous as well as the patient at the same time Smooth.
Yep, Smooth gets pulled back, Summon Force in, Smooth still alive, but gets taken down by Hazel. RWM stops
Nice.
Fakes, double kill by Hazel, and now Invictus Gaming, they want to continue on. DMBV. Lost that one.
Unfortunate. A full 1.4 seconds worth of control time from Spencer in the fight alone. Rossi did not make it connect. Oh, but I'm speaking about connecting.
Yep, still wants to get that kill, but not enough damage so far to even take down Nova Escobar. Looks like they need just a little bit more items.
Yeah, don't have it just yet. I would like to have a quick look at the item check. Dean, what do you think so far, especially on third Turtle, BIGETRON? Should they contest this?
I feel like they that is a very, very big question right there. I feel like they should, because if not, the lead from IG is going to get even bigger. But do they have what it takes? Because so far, IG has already got the recipe down. Take out Smooth from the equation, and then we fight. Once again.
Smooth flickers in, tries to get someone. Rossi misses though, and now has to get out of the fight. Melcuti doing a lot of damage, and it was still able to get the turtle, but he's not good enough to sacrifice Smooth, because Smooth's gonna get taken down by Hazel. And now Chiku guys has to get out of there. So I don't know, was that a worth it trade to trade Smooth for the turtle?
No, I think it was a miscommunication. Chiku guys was like nowhere near. And I mean, worst of all, Rossi didn't find the connection. Fakes was ready to actually engage on this, but unfortunately Rossi could not give him the setup he was looking for.
I mean, they had to take a gamble right there from DRM. They had to take that gamble, and Smooth had to do that. If not, the lead is going to get even bigger for IG. Yes, they lose one member of a BIGETRON MY by Vitality, but at least they've gotten the last turtle, and what was a 1k lead right now for IG has been shredded a bit, a bit lower right now. So things are a bit stable, but they are not out of the woods yet.
Take a little bit of time here. So far, the saving grace is that no matter what, Chiku guys is guaranteed going to scale for the rest of the team. Fakes, he had a pretty good early to mid game, and he understands he doesn't want to push the boundaries too much. Now, already getting an Ice Queen to front to make it just a little easier to set up for the rest of his team. Now he's just playing artillery.
Now, honestly, the Ice Queen 1 is going to be very crucial, because the added slow, or like the easier ticks on the slow, actually does impact a lot on the fight. But BIGETRON, we may have to talk about this later, because they had a pretty good start, but then they just threw it away. And now Hazel is looking absolutely amazing, 5-0-1. As long as he doesn't die, it's going to be very difficult for BTRM by Vitality to really come back.
Yep, and he knows
I mean,
exactly.
look at Mel, he's nervous right now.
I think he's realizing that Chiku guys is slowly building up on that lead each and every time, and every single time he tries to match it, unfortunately, Chiku is just not there. He's back at his farming stage. But for BIGETRON, right? At this point, you kind of just have to wait for Lord fights. There's really no other means, because it just doesn't feel worth sending Smooth in to open up bushes if your whole team of 5 has no clue where Invictus is going to be.
So, I mean, even if Rasi gets a good jump over towards IG, right, I feel like still BIGETRON does not have enough to take down even a Nova Escobar. So it feels like they need to wait for this a lot, but Smooth once again.
Yep, Smooth goes in. Rossi did not hit the jump. Gorgeous targets on Fakes. Fakes able to get out of there, and now the fight is split. Smooth is in the middle of everything, gets taken down by Gorgeous, and now Chiku guys goes in. Blazing duet, damage not enough, has to get away, and now looks like that's all there's to it for this fight.
Managed to BMI and then flicker out as soon as he takes it back. This does reset the board, which is great. But IG, they got a lot of resources for free out of BIGETRON. A lot of battle spells being wasted there as well.
Now, it looks like we got to look at Melcuti here. He feels like he really needs to carry And they did not reset this properly. Annabelle in the middle of everything. Hazel still gets the Lord. A good jump, but only hitting onto one. Melkitty able to get fakes. And now, even though Chiku guys is able to get Harif out of the fight, it's only him and Smooth. No one else from Bigetron MY can defend this. Chiku guys goes and tries to get onto Hazel. 1v3. Chiku guys gets it.
Man, really pushing the limits of the BMI. 0.1 seconds before it was about to time out. Let's look at the instant replay one more time.
Intense gameplay. I like what Melkitty did here. He straight away focused down on fakes on the backside. But what happened towards that Lord, it was a 50-50. Annabelle tried his best to get that Lord, but Hazel got it locked down in terms of retribution. But I wish that instant replay just moved towards a bit longer, where I wanted to see how Chiku guys got the kill against Hazel. But that was precision timing on that BMI.
Something that I do have to say as well, maybe that's why Chiku guys was more brazen to go forward, was that all the crowd control was used onto Annabelle, right? So I kind of feel like that's crucial information for Chiku guys to say, like, I'm willing to extend this to the very limit.
Yep. I think right now, Annabelle, he's playing well around over X-Kobar, but not against Gojes. That's 2 times he's died because Gojes was able to get on top of him with the shifting clouds. He's got to be a little careful, and more so, just worry about not his ult, but that flicker.
Chiku guys getting a little bit more dangerous here with a little bit more range.
I mean, yes, and those are the things that not only Chiku guys, but here in Malaysia, only Chiku guys are brave enough to do so, right? Hold on.
They want to jump onto Nova.
Don't think so.
Nova is forced to use his Revitalize, so
okay.
a big win for Bigetron MY.
Not bad, not bad. It's not the end of the world for Invictus Gaming, though. They still are holding a majority of the turrets on their side. Now BTR, they need to get to the point where they can actually outscale them. They have a lot more late game mechanics in comparison to Invictus Gaming when it comes down to raw burst. But in longer fights, that's where Invictus Gaming really starts to take full control.
Very utility-based for both mid lanes, right? Green one as well as Ice Queen one for both guard as well as the Eve at the same time. So not much magical damage from IG except for when you have the Harith on your own goal lane. But for Bigetron MY by Vitality, still have Annabelle. But then again, Annabelle, you need a clear pathway for you to be able to go in, Rhythm of Joy, and just drop on the beats against IG. But if the stun is there from Nova Escobar, if the stun is there from Hazel, from Gorgeous, technically it's gonna be a very, very tough route for you to take to be able to get the kills, for you to get the Lord at the same time and live through all of that.
Yeah, and Mel can't lie to us. Yep. He recalls, trying to show that he's okay. We're like, 137.
Hey, maybe it takes a lot of effort to do it that quickly.
Oh,
To
yeah.
recall at that rate, it's basically an exercise.
It requires at least 130 beats per minute.
I like how Fakes, within the game, he's chill. During the pause, he was like 160.
He's he's
That's about the pause. Like, guys, come on, man.
I want to
Season
play.
17.
I want to play, bruh.
Bruh, please.
Come on.
At the stage now, let's see how these guys Lord dance, right? Because the waves are not set up well for Bigetron by Vitality. However, Invictus Gaming aren't taking like a major push into the BTR section of the map. Now that they realize it, they're going to start it up and hopefully fade out the rest of the members.
Who's gonna get baited out first? Is Smooth gonna get the, I would say, opportunity to go in first, or IG is gonna just gun him down once again?
Well, looks like they're gonna do just that. Smooth is all alone, no backup. He's able to get out of there with the flicker. A lot was expanded. Rossi tries to get onto Melcutie. Melcutie's Almond forces out of there. Still gets taken down by Chiku guys, but Chiku guys got canceled out. Annabelle from the back gets onto Spencer. Smooth takes down Nova, Escobar, and looks like a good flank by Bigetron MY by Vitality. Helped them out win this Lord fight.
Very nicely done. Honestly, Smooth, the fact that he's still alive. Oh, and they get one more for their troubles. Gorgeous trying to pull a Smooth, doesn't get the same effect.
That's opening up the eagle eye from Rossi, catching out Gorgeous in that bush. And Chiku guys will be able to follow up and get the kill and get the Lord at the same time. I feel like IG, if they could have gotten the kill against Smooth, could have been a different case. But Smooth was able to walk out alive, and Bigetron MY by Vitality was able to turn things around with the RWM as well as the Blazing Duet from Chiku guys. It was enough to take away the main key point from Invictus Gaming, which is gonna be the high loss.
I wonder if Chiku guys made a call be like, hey, Smooth, show your face. And then
Yes,
it's like,
sir.
And it's like, but they will catch me. He's like, I know. They've been doing that for like 5 times now. And then when they do, Don't screw it up. Rossi looking at you.
Considering everything that has happened in Smooth's career and that he's played with you guys before, he's probably just like, yeah, sure. No questions asked, no comms whatsoever. You just see a slight increase in his BPM.
So they just short it. It's like, hey, Smooth, die. Like, all right.
Aye, Captain.
He didn't die, to be fair. He baited everyone out from IG side right there, and he played it well just now.
Now they're going to have to go a little bit further, right? Ideally, they get an inhibitor here. They don't find the inhibitor, that's fine. Ideally, you don't lose anything else. Oof, Gorgeous. He had an angle there, but luckily, decides to back off. Good choices. We see that at least for Invictus Gaming, now all the leads that they build up in the early stages of the game have now come back. It is even between both teams.
I'm not gonna lie, Chico guys is getting a bit more scarier as we approach the 17-minute mark. If it bleeds into it, it's gonna hit like a truck. The BMI is gonna be very on point, and Invictus Gaming, they need to save up some form of crowd control to be able to catch Chico guys out. Now they have to make a decision. Whether are we gonna be focusing down on Annabelle when he jumps in, or are we gonna save up our crowd control for Chico guys later on?
Look at Rossi. He knows it's on him. If he misses the jump, it could be over for BIGETRON MY by Vitality.
I think it's total of what? 3 whiffs? 3 big whiffs in the previous fight so far, and ideally he wants to get a higher hit rates. Generally, I mean, the early game he was hitting like more than 2 targets. Now it's really starting to struggle. Could be Invictus messing with his head, or whether or not it's just not being accurate. One way or another. 17 minutes into this, we can see that there's not a lot of creativity between Invictus Gaming and BIGETRON by Vitality, right? They're not really trying to do the push and pull anymore. It's just, let's wait for the timer, let's keep it clean.
Yeah, it looks like Invictus Gaming, based on observation, they have plan A. Yep. When plan A doesn't work, they don't really have a plan B, or everyone has different plan Bs. So I really feel like the moment BIGETRON is able to mess up with their tempo, they start scrambling.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just the image of the fight they hope it looks, right? Like the look of a particular fight.
Rossi.
Oh!
Rossi unable to get onto anyone. Nobody's Kobar tanking too. Smooth. Trying to get away with Chico guys all the way to the back. Trying to get onto Melcutie, taking quite a lot of damage. Gorgeous is there, unable to really stop him. Annabelle off the top. Nova Escobar is still tanking all the while, but Hazel 1v1 wins against Annabelle. Gorgeous tries to run away, gets taken down by Chico guys. Chico guys moves on forward, gets another kill, fakes, gets it. Now Spencer able to get smooth. Hazel shut down onto Chico guys now without the marksman. Spencer flickers forward. Hazel is on the chase. Nowhere for fakes to run. Gets taken down eventually by Hazel. No, Spencer!
He wants more! He wants the whole bag! He's gonna chase Rossi halfway across the world as they see that their inhibitor is already getting filled with minions on their side. Now, as a Yushin, very happy to see him chase down his targets one by one, but at the same time, it's just, very unfortunate that Annabelle lost the 1v1.
Yeah.
First of all, props to Nova Escobar for sustaining that long. And second of all, I'm not too sure why BIGETRON would want to focus down Nova in the first place. I mean, there are other targets that you can gun down. Gorgeous, Spencer at the same time, but hey, they threw all in at Nova Escobar, and Nova Escobar just tanked it away as much as he could, and then wasted a good amount of spells, a good amount of skill from BIGETRON MY just now. Chico guys, I feel like he had to be there. He could not fully back off, because if not, there's not going to be any damage. But then again, that decision made Hazel go onto the backside and get a kill against Chico guys just now.
Let me just say, maybe it's the 2-hour jab that makes me a bit cranky.
Okay.
But I'm going to put the blame onto Annabelle, because I really feel like whichever jungler wins that 1v1, it can really turn the tides. And yeah, and like, Annabelle hasn't really had a presence here in this game, and right now we're in the franchise start partnership stage of MPL. Teams gotta tighten up.
They really gotta tighten up. They really gotta show everything that they're worth, right? And I think that, especially when we're looking at Hazel and as well as Annabelle, these are 2 prominent Indonesian junglers. When they first came out in MPL ID, everybody was like, these guys are the next Call TZ. You know, the general consensus of the next big thing. Every single time, they somehow end up in Malaysia.
Well, Nova Escobar jumps forward. Rossi catches one. Rossi gets taken down. And now, good engaged by Gorgeous. Chico guys try to kite around. Now, even with the Witcher Crown, they're gonna get a kill. Nova Escobar somehow still stands. Melcutie gets taken down by Chico guys. Can he defend the base? Takes a lot of damage from Spencer. Still standing. Look at the base. It's getting taken down bit by bit. But BIGETRON
defense. No
Beautiful
way.
stop. Beautiful stop from both the teams. That was an awesome fight. And we get more. Annabelle wants to go and chase Spencer down. Flickers forward. No running from him. My God, his shield is gigantic, but he also has no mana.
Yeah, Annabelle, this is one you cannot lose. If you lose a 1v1 against Eve. Although to be fair, the passive buff on the Eve is actually pretty nice.
It's pretty great. Is
that it?
It's not gonna end. Okay, no. The aggro was taken. The aggro was taken, so it's all good.
Luckily.
That would be a clip though.
That would be very, very funny. Either way, still very good luck here. Honestly, that last fight alone, let's look at the instant replay. How many item swaps did you guys notice? Because usually you expect only 1 or 2 people to do it. Everybody in this fight was switching out immortalities, winter crowns, whatever they can get to get even a slight advantage here.
That's a very, very good beast defense by BIGETRON and by Vitality. To be fair, Annabelle, Chico guys, all played their part right there, knowing that they had the biggest damage to clear out the minion wave and to give a bit of amount of damage right now. The Lord.
Yeah, the Lord is very, very low. Chico guys is focusing on it, but Spencer gets the Lord. Chico guys might have overextended. Melcury tries to get a kill, missed the gush defensively just to make sure Chico does not get caught. Gideon, what was that? What was BIGETRON thinking?
I am not 100% sure, right? I think they were confident they could take down the Lord like really, really quickly with Chico guys and Annabelle alone.
They should.
But I think the fight got really split up, right? Because the RWM comes out, everybody starts to panic, and even from Smooth's POV, he's caught at a really awkward side of the Lord pit where walking around it would take too long, and cutting through the RWM would waste even more time. So therefore, he just has to stick onto the high loss and eventually zone out Hazel.
Well, Nova is making sure that Rossi is taken care of, taking quite a bit of damage. Gojis looking for an angle for the shifting clouds. The base is taking way too much damage. Rossi is able to get one. Immortality pop. And now Hazel gets out of the fray. Chico guys able to get Melcury. Gojis just ends the game. Game 1 for Invictus Gaming.
Very nicely played by Invictus Gaming. Early game looked good. Mid game, there were a couple of awkward moments there. Both sides refuse to play risky. They're trying to keep it clean, textbook, and aligned with everybody else.
I'm pretty sure we need another replay on that last Lord. What happened to Annabelle right there? Because for me, losing that team fight, losing that Lord cost them the game. They should have gotten that Lord because there was no Hazel inside at all. They had the retribution. BIGETRON had the retribution right there. They had Chico guys at the same time. They had more firepower at that Lord. But again, as Gideon mentioned, maybe the RWM positioning was too good and BIGETRON could not do anything about it.
Yeah, I think another interesting decision they could have made is just not staying in the RWM. Yeah. Reset it, right? And then maybe try it again, jumping back in, because it only works one way. If you get stunned by it once, then you can come back in, no problem. And it's sad to see, but at least now, I'm excited for game number 2. Because now it has to be adjustments from the side of BIGETRON. And it's not like they didn't have any idea what they were doing. It's just the execution level.
I'm sorry, man. Annabelle, you should not lose that team fight at that last Lord.
I feel like Annabelle should have played differently from minute 1. Yep. Right. I kind of feel like it's a all the game kind of thing, because here's the thing. Big shout out to Invictus Gaming, because they came in. A lot of people had their doubts, especially with BIGETRON and by Vitality. The roster looks pretty good, and we were questioning on Chico guys and Amzik. It's clear that the goalie was not a problem, right? Chico guys did his job phenomenally.
Very good job.
It really is just on Annabelle, unfortunately.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Because usually
and smooth a bit.
To a degree. To a degree, but mainly because it's like the shape of the fight was really awkward in terms of raw positioning. I think the draft also didn't really help that much, because now, once you've shifted from I'm looking for picks and now to play for the Lord, what does Fakes do at that point, right? Now he has to not only zone out the jungler, but he has to figure out whether the front line, our jungler needs help to not get stunned, and then I have to ult at some random point in time, which I could die, so tough decisions needed to be made in that last fight.
But, gosh,
it's Valentina might be better.
That's what I'm thinking. If he had Valentina, you Glorious Pathway, both sides, it's not as bad.
Glorious Pathway, RWM, Shifting Clouds. There's a lot of CC-based abilities he could have had that honestly could have enabled Chico guys even more.
Or Zitian at the same time.
Yeah.
Just one of a button.
So many ways that they could have done this, but let's give it up for our MVP of this game, Hazel. Early game wasn't looking too great, but eventually he slowly picks it back up. Bit of a hiccup here and there, but eventually he outscales and finds the individual 1v1s that wins them the game.
Basically just telling all the gold laners to be like, nah, with me, still jungle.
Still jungle.
Doesn't matter, right? It does not matter at all. To be fair, from minute number 1, yes, he didn't mention there was nothing much going on, but as things start to pick up the pace, we've seen that how Hazel gets a good amount of kills, 6-0 and 1 at one point in terms of KDA, but 2 key points right there. The 1v1 that he won at mid, if I'm not mistaken, against Annabelle, that won them that particular team fight, and of course the Retribution battle, because it was very 50-50 at the time, but he maintained his focus. He knows that this Retribution, this slot is going to change the momentum of the game, and he did it very comfortably. And to certain degrees, I cannot say the same towards Annabelle, man. I know Chico is going to be pissed about that.
He's going to be a little pissed, but at the same time, like the 2 times that he did eventually die and, you know, got his neutral stolen. Gojess, man, that shifting cloud's really, really annoying to deal with.
Fair enough.
I think that, all right, I think for Hazel, the only thing that I saw that was interesting was his item progression build, mainly because, hey, most of them, I'm not really going to interact with Smooth that much. I want to take out Fakes, Annabelle, Chiku guys. First item, Hunter Strike, endless battle into Malefic BOD, then finally goes for the War Axe.
Something I do have to say is about positioning of BTRM, because as a frontliner, Smooth, he really relies on his mid laner to make sure that the mid laner is able to get him out of a tricky situation, right? It doesn't matter if you're using a tank jungle or a roam tank or a EXP tank. When you're in front, you're hoping with the big AoE that the Gord has with all of his abilities, he's able to at least slow down some of the damage that he receives. But I kind of feel like it's both faults. Smooth is too far forward, and Fakes, again, he hasn't played in the MPL scene for a while, maybe a little bit too cautious of moving forward, which I kind of can't blame him, because Rossi is hiding to engage, not opening the map for him. So a bit of mismatch when we were looking at a draft here after that game.
I think they just need to clean up the way that they communicate with each other, right? Because at some point, Fakes is has to communicate and say, I am hiding behind X player, which is either Rossi or Smooth in this case. If Smooth is too far, it's like, Smooth, I am not there. If anything happens, you're in trouble. And that happened 2 times in this game, mainly because of the Yishin Shin's Mountain Shocker. Reveals the positions. We know Smooth is by himself. Let's go punish. Again, things need to change. I think that IG, if they didn't have that extra bit of vision coming in from Yishin Shin, a lot of the decisions and a lot of the fights that they won decisively probably wouldn't have gone that way.
The one who's gonna bail Smooth out was supposed to be Fixed, right, with the God, with the Mystic Gush and the stun. But a lot of the times, the one who built Smooth out was gonna be Chico guys.
Yeah.
With the with the BMI as well as the Blazing Wet, and you do not want that to happen at that sequence. You want Chico guys to be at the very end of that team fight to clean things out, not just with the Blazing Wet, but with the basic attack of a Cloud. At minute 15, at minute 16, it's gonna hit like a truck. But then again, as you guys already mentioned, maybe because of the communication, the positioning is an off angle. Smooth, I feel like it's not to a certain degree at his fault 100%, because he has to maintain that jump.
Yeah, he must maintain that jump, but in terms of like raw impact of the game, look at Chiku guys, man. Look at that damage dot. 129.9 compared to Enva at 42.7?
Smooth did 34.
Yeah.
Smooth died most of that game.
And to be fair, he was building full tank. So it's like, all right, sure, I get it. But Annabelle is unacceptable.
But how are you gonna play up against a Hylas who's gonna stun you immediately, with a Gorgeous who's gonna stomp on you immediately?
I don't know, maybe those 1v1s, you know?
Or maybe Big Alpha.
Big Alpha. One or the other.
King Kong could do it.
Hey, look, it's
Sky
tough.
could do it.
Dude, the jungle role, I've learned
Guys
a
could
lot
do
over my break period, and I'll admit, jungle's pretty darn hard to play overall, especially with these highly mechanical style of junglers. You can't just turn off your brain.
It's super duper hard. This is minute 8, nothing much going on. I wanted to see like what's the end, to be fair, because this is where Smooth threw his body in, then they got that last turtle.
This is the one. This is the awkward.
This is the mid one, yeah.
Yeah, this is the mid one.
Which also, it's kind of on Annabelle, right? He was standing on top of the Lord, taking Lord damage, and then just waiting to get CC.
Yep.
He's playing like a Fredrin.
Is.
Beast defense.
They're not that great at holding the Lord aggro. They're better at like pushing and pulling, going in and out of the pick consistently.
Kind of like what you call it, like Siege, right? Let Gord be annoying, and then once the opponents wants to dive in, like one team fight they did, is just flank, right? Annabelle comes from the flank, 2 guys come from the flank, and then that's good. But they abandoned their gameplay.
Would I say that it's more they should have Okay.
Okay, let's look at this.
I wouldn't say siege. I would say more so it is just... Oh, there we go. Well, okay, all right, yeah. So Smooth recognized straight away. I am, like, in no position to actually help Anavel walking through the RWN, so he had to go towards Hazel's side. Then it's just a 2v1 on Anavel.
Okay, you know what? At that point, I feel like you got to change the strat. If you really want Anavel to be using an assassin type, Rasi has to be a front line. Because we saw Smooth was handling